DCPD. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
And my audio is also visible. Please respond.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And see, at the very outset, let me just share that the problem of the Google Meet is that I am soon after
Sir,
sharing the
please, sir, excuse
screen.
me, sir.
Please.
Sir, Nimada.
Please.
Hello. Nimada, please click on the hide. Click on the hide.
Is it? Hello, is it fine?
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. See, let me at the very outset, let me just share the problem of Google Meet is that the moment I share the screen, I am just able to view my PPT slide. Unlike other video conferencing platform or tools, there we can have some video of the participants to whom we can make eye contact and we can get some message or signal how my lecture or deliberation is reachable mentally, physically, as well as technically the participants. But the Google Meet is that I am just able to see my PPT slide, which I dislike to see my PPT slide, but I like to see your face so that I can have little bit idea whether and how my deliberation is reaching or addressing to your mindset. However, since it is Google Meet, we have to find out the solution within the problem. That's why we are member of residing in a country where problem is our next door neighbor. Now, let me just take formal entry of the petition part. At the very outset, let me welcome all the participants, whomsoever, wherever are they, maybe from West Bengal, maybe from outside West Bengal. I, on behalf of Ekadasutto Center for Planning and Development, welcome you all, as well as from my personal behalf. Let me welcome you all and have a good afternoon. Whether actually you have a nice lunch and your stomach is full of food, so I think I may address straight away. And I'm really grateful to the director of the Sekadasutto Center for Planning and Development, none other than Professor Devashish Bhattacharya, who is supposed to be a dynamic person. And under his able leadership, the center is running very efficiently and enthusiastically with golden hands of cooperation from my friendly Dr. Dasankar, who is taking every now and then care like a child of the center to organize any kind of. Yes, whenever I'm just going to deliver my lecture, they are sitting and they are thinking, particularly outside West Bengal, they consider this Ekadasutto Center as a shadow HRDC of Vishwabharati. Shadow HRDC or miniature figure of Human Development Center, or you can say Academic Staff College formerly of Vishwabharati of this center. Okay. Well, now just the caption of this 10-day national e-workshop on research methodology in social sciences. I don't know the caption whether matching to collect the homogeneous nature of audience or not. But as I know, my colleagues, Dr. Dakre from Agricultural Science, so the caption is now to me e-workshop on research methodology only, not only social science. Because when scientific people is here, we will try our little bit competency by applying our little bit of competency to address this is a general research methodology e-workshop, not social science, because scientific people are also over here. And during interaction, I am eagerly waiting to get your observation, compliance, remarks, valuable inputs, additions, which will help me to customize my future deliberation on the particular area. And today, I am just decided to spotlight on the topic called ethics in research and publications, contemporary issues, you can say current issues too. And the presentation breakup may be categorized into 6 different facets or points, out of which 2 are very customary. One will be introduction and end will be conclusion. Therefore, there are 4 core areas or keywords or components which I can try to touch. And say something not based on the literary aspect, but based on my experience of around 25 years service, or you can say my little bit of practical experience in research and publication arena, or book reading, the workshop methodology, or my caption, it just having 3 key words: research, publications, ethics, and combining all these 3. Why? We need to study or learn something on these 3 particular words to maintain my career as a safe practice and to save career, save society, and save institution, and save a nation in general. Therefore, all these 4 facets combine the academic arena, we can say academic society. Now, these 3-4 buzzwords constitute the academic society or draw the major attention of the academic corridor, this research, publications, and its ethics, through which basically we like to ensure our safe practice to enrich safe career. Let me repeat again: safe society, safe institution, and safe nation. Like our government of West Bengal, safe drive, safe life. And to me, the tagline is safe practice, safe career. Safe practice, safe career. Now, if you can add the word safe academic practice to save my golden career, rest of my retirement or rest of my life, that's the actual tagline of any academician in the current arena. And that is why it is called the parameter of contextual circumstances on this academic society is research, its publications, and ethics. Now let me come into reality. Being an academician, why I have used the term academician? It's an umbrella term under which faculty member or teachers, officers, non-teaching staff, scholars, students, common people, those who are having some competency, willpower to give some academic output to the greater society is called academic society. And that is why I am using the term academic society. By this term, I want to mean all this category at a glance. Now, we have to ask ourselves, before going to pay attention on the topic or line of submission, are we ready to accept change? Are we ready to accept change? If I ask you, these 20 participants or online attendee, most of you will raise your voice in response to this question as yes. But I'm sure you will say this answer as yes in tricky, or I can say very, very in diplomatic pattern. Now you can say, you can think that this fellow, why imposing or assuming or supposing some confusion on our saying yes, simply because being a body of human civilization, we wanted to take many things from the society on fingertips. But when we are considered to be as giver or provider, service provider, then we are very confined. That is why I have some agony and confusion that answer will be yes based on this picture, that if I take the example of last 15 years of our journey in the telecommunication world or communication world, from dialing machine or dialing receiver to till this date, wireless mobile, rather say smartphone or this Android, is we accepted very heartily, willfully, and mentally. And by the blessings of these pandemic days, we are now much more online friendly in terms of communication, in terms of our day-to-day life, like paying any LIC premium, telephone bill, EMI, any kind of online trading. Even we are now love to take food on my gate of residence, not by visiting the restaurant. That's the basic birth time of this Zomato and some other food supplier or provider apps and agencies. And many of us totally unaware about the apps of Telegram, which is parallelly and in many cases more strong than WhatsApp. But in pre-pandemic days, the 1% of the civilization has been used the Telegram. Nowadays, it is 41% compared to WhatsApp. So I am saying these things simply because based on my real life experience, that I being a librarian, I am paying anything or doing most of my routine work by using my Android phone or laptop or desktop by using internet. But the moment you are asking me as a librarian that Dr. Saha, why we have to visit library till the date for a particular book, why I have to visit a particular service to get a particular service for multi-time, unlike in a shopping mall, single visit for multiple items. In a library till today, we have to visit multiple times for a single service. So you see, we are living in a contradictory society. When we are service seeker, I am in favor of change. When I am service provider, I am not against, but maybe a great extent disagreement with the caption. Keeping intact of the earlier slides view, we have to now consider, being an academician, that we are living on the open knowledge society. And to me, in open knowledge society, there are 9 different components, and that is why it is called OK to the power 9. Open knowledge, OK means not all correct. Usually we say that okay, this OK means not that OK. This OK actually means open knowledge. So open knowledge to the power 9 entails there are different 9 core components which are the member of the open knowledge society, right from open access to end open educational resources. And as you know, the nature of the best teacher, the society. By this open knowledge society, or you can say open access resources, you can say open educational resources, we are just feeding to the academics to sustain during the days of pandemic, when our physical corridor was closed, but our online education, online thesis submission, online research submission, online paper submission for publication in the journal for a particular journal for get publication in a particular time to ensure my promotion period, to ensure my career point, we are not stopped because of this open knowledge society. Now, before two stepping stone in the research arena or academic arena, we have to pay attention on the 5 core steps on the basis of which we will go gradually from bottom to top, from bottom to top, from bottom to top, sequentially, circumstantially, and logically. We have to set our goal, be it a research problem, be it an article writing problem, be it a major research project, be it any kind of academic proliferation. We have to set goal at the very down stage. Thereafter, based on the goal, we need to make plan. In our common language, it is called research design. Then get to work based on the methodology. We have to take part in the deeper sea to start the work, then stick to it. Means, in mid of research, sometimes scholars are getting confused and they forget what was the objective and where they have actually started, and they are just getting, oneness. They are the sea where they are just finding that we are only seeing in and around water, water, and water. So that time, literature, and they're confusing which portion I have to take, which portion is authentic, how much we need to take, how much we need to avoid, then finally reach goal. And in this particular juncture, let me say 3 particular words or terms out of which I am sure many of you will be knowing. And last one maybe or may not be known to you. Then also relearn. Whenever we are just going to recapitulate the earlier reading or earlier knowledge or earlier learning, maybe from any link resources, means my guide or my teachers, or maybe any non-link resources, means from any print resources or electronic resources, or relearn. But in need of this learn and relearn, there is another word called unlearn. Then what is the meaning of this unlearn? Let me just interact with you. Can anybody help me? What do you mean by unlearn? Learn is clear and relearn also clear. Can anybody help me? Please put on your audio and share with me how do you found the term unlearn? Please come up. Anybody?
So may I?
Yeah. Why not? Please.
Hello. So
Please.
As for the term unlearn is as I understand it, whatever we know or whatever we think or feel, they are actually narratives that are being played in the world, that are being created and distributed and consumed in the world around us. They're narratives and ways of looking. Different people are looking at things differently, and some of them become dominant paradigms. And then they are distributed and they're consumed, and we start learning things. And for that time being, we think that is the thing, that is something valuable, of some value and output in society. But with time and with different ways of knowing and different alternative epistemologies when they come up, sometimes those paradigms change and alternative paradigms start becoming mainstream. And so we have to unlearn and create something new in terms of knowledge. Maybe this is what you mean by unlearn.
Okay, thank you for your submission. Let me justify. May I have any more substantial opinion or real life oriented any example so that we can understand the word very clearly? Can anybody?
So can I give an example from the development perspective and environmental perspective?
Yeah, I think you are the same. I mean, respondent, no?
Yes.
Yeah, you can give the example. Let me
So
listen.
I can, yes, I can try. Actually, as far as from the point of view that I was speaking, for example, we know that in the modernization paradigm and when monocultural agricultural practices were actually pushed into the third world and the global south. So farmers were made to learn certain ways of agricultural practices through the paradigm of modernization. But later on, a lot of issues were found with those practices, and slowly things are turning towards agroecological practices and going back to indigenous methods, which were earlier called as passing of the traditional society. So you shouldn't stick to these traditional practices. You should take up modernization, and things were learned from those modernization practices. And slowly, the paradigm is shifting where you need to unlearn certain practices and relearn the traditional practices or agroecological practices for better and sustainable ecological development. So this is one of the examples I could give.
Okay, okay. Any more? There are many more participants. By this, I actually wanted to draw your attention whether you are actually on the online board or mobile is in your pocket and you are in your own job or work. That's why I wanted to listen something whether I am right or you are right or you are having my attention or not. So please come up and at least some response I can expect for another 1 hour 30 minutes.
Sir, hello.
Yeah, please.
So actually, one of my uh, co-friend, I can say, she has expressed it in a very interesting way. I found her example also very interesting. But I
Hmm.
just would like to add something with
Right.
that. The way you said unlearn, I mean, from the perspective of a researcher, it is our duty to start from the scratch and
Hmm.
not to have any preconceived notion. Suppose whenever
Hmm.
we see something around us, we
Hmm.
gain some experience and we gain some knowledge about that. But when
Hmm.
we are starting our journey as a research scholar, when we are starting this research thing, we should actually should not be motivated. I will not say motivated. We should not be influenced by some preconceived notion, but we should
Hmm.
try to unlearn those things and start from the very point zero or from the scratch and try to gain experience from that. And during the course of the research also, when we start gaining the knowledge, there also we may face situations where we have collected some data and we have found we have gathered some knowledge about that. But again, when for the second time we are going and collecting data, we may find things are changing. So this is what I wanted to express, is this is a process where we should not have any preconceived notion in our mind regarding any particular issue, and we should always be ready to uh, start from the scratch, if I can say. But I think
Okay.
my friend
Yeah.
has expressed it in a much
Yeah.
beautiful way. I really
This
liked
is
her example.
right. This is actually substantial of the earlier submission. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
anybody else? Okay. So let me just give an example. Literary, both of them, they are just try to amplify the term unlearn very efficiently and perfectly, I can say. But I wanted to explain the thing in a very easy and simple manner. Just let me say, if I take the example of load bearing capacity of human brain, which is not visible, which is not measurable, still the capacity of intellectual resources by a particular human brain, which is basically a combination of some neuron nervous system, that is not unlimited. Mind. That is why the senior aged person, let's say 70 above or 80 above, the more we age old, the more we going to forget the things from our memory. Why this is so? Because older the car, lower the load bearing capacity. And once we load something in any particular truck, unless and until unload that particular truck, that truck cannot be reloaded. That is why once I learn something, my brain is full after some given point of time. Then if I going to take some new thing, I have to discard some old thing or bad thing from my mind, from my understanding, from my knowledge, so that a fresh knowledge will take place in my mind properly. And that is why many a time we found that students are inattentive in the class. We found that scholars are not paying much attention on the writing or research work. Why this is? Simply because, basically two reasons. Simply because his or her mind is not ready to take any particular load, as his or her mind is full of load, good and bad things. So this time he or she required to unlearn something from his or her mind. And some other natural phenomena, maybe family related, maybe career related, maybe health related, maybe society related. 4 or 5 problems are there which actually have a great influence on our mindset, and that may also damage our day-to-day work, maybe my service life, maybe my writing life, maybe my authorship pattern, maybe my research speed, and many things. So that's why, to better or instantive or exemplify, if we wanted to understood what actually the learning and relearning is, unlearn is nothing but to discard something, to a technique, to forget, to debate, to reject something from our mind, so that we can take a fresh intellectual load in my mind. And once my mind will be fresh to carry up a particular new input, my output will be qualitative and my output will be as well as a fresh. So that is why nowadays this is a bit new term, not so new, but last 5 to 8 years, this unlearn is coined in the academic arena, and we are trying to learn something about unlearn, how to ignore something, how to ignore bad thing, so that I will be pleased on my mind, so that my mind will be active to digest or attract or accept any good thing in my mind heartily. Once my mind will be vacant to accept new thing. That is why unload basically a technique to reject something from the mind and to have a fresh position to accept new or good thing in our mind. Now let me switch over the research basics. See, as we are dealing with research and publication ethics, the first word is research. Here, I am not going to teach you or give you something, a definition based from any good books or literary discourse or any narratives or any Oxford dictionary. What research is, that is available in here and there. You can take a download, you can open a book page, and you can go through that. But here, to my understanding, I wanted to just give the highlight of the every word of research. If I wanted to rightly understand or digest or conceptualize or figure in that, R stands for rational way of thinking, then E for that, S for that, E for that. I'm not going to read all these words because it is very clear. And soon after this session is over, I will share this PPT with the Ekadash Gupta Center, and Dr. Daya Shankar, of course, will share with you all. So you are not supposed to listen all these things line by line, because I don't love to read the slide by slide and word by word, and also to save the presentation time. Then, see, sources of knowledge or information or literature. If I ask many of you, give me the answer based on the literature, that primary, secondary, tertiary. And if I ask you to give the example, then you can say this is books, journals, pamphlets, standards, others. That's the literary based or literature based answer. And as I said, before to start my content, that I am not loving to go by any literary presentation over here. Instead of that, I prefer to say that kind of understanding in a different fashion and manner. So to my understanding, the sources of information may be categorized into two different broad heading. One is living, one is non-living. Living, you understood. It's very clear. There is no need to give any example, or there is no need to give more conceptual explanation. Living means only the human being maybe act as literary source of any particular research or any particular idea or any particular given problem, because many things is not available in the non-living resources. Like if anybody undertook any work that the health practices of tribal women in a particular area, in a particular village, or in a particular town, or in a particular district, based on that district, on consciousness of the tribal health, and text and context, or based on the currency, you may not get or hardly get some literary aspects in printed or electronic format. That time we need to interact with the living bodies of the particular focus zone. And we're trying to take sometimes audio, sometimes video, then coming back to the house, translate, transform, translate that audio, video into literary discourse. Then only I am just figuring the conception of the statement of my proposed problem of research. So that is why it is called living sources. And these living sources may not be confined only in the list of acknowledgement. It is beyond acknowledgement. And this should be referred properly. This should be given academic attribution, academic acknowledgement based on international acclaimed citation style. And then another part is non-living, of course. Again, this non-living heading may be subdivided into print, electronic, and digital. Print, electronic, and digital. Yes, print is very clear. It is understandable to all of us. Electronic, okay, it's also very clear to all of us. But digital, and why I am mentioning electronic and digital in separate word? Do I committed any wrong? Or do you found some significance of using the term in separate mode by its entity, electronic and digital? Can anybody help me or assist me by giving opinion, maybe example or conceptually sentence? What do you actually mean by electronic sources and digital sources? Are they same or they are different? If it is, what are the similarities or what are the differences? Please, participants, respond, please. Anybody?
So anything which is coded in zeros and ones are mainly called digital, and so they can be any format can be transformed into another form. For example, something in sound can at the same time sound, videos, print, anything can exist at one place and the data can be transferred from one source to another using mainly which are called the qubits, zeros and ones. So that is what I understand by digitalization or digital information. Electronic
Then
can be anything that makes use of electromagnetic fields and electricity.
electricity.
Electromagnetic fields and any medium that is using the phenomena of electromagnetism and related.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Anything more? Any other opinion or substantial opinion?
Sir, electronic sources are confined within your particular institution or library, whereas the digital resources can be accessed from anywhere, providing a particular link or any password, user ID password, and other services. So that the other users can use your institutional information as well from not
Okay.
being present physically in your institution, but from other side, other parts of the world. So that is all about digital importance of
Okay.
digital resources.
Okay. Any more opinion? Any other opinion? Okay. Let me just assume and feel pleased that everybody is listening me, because I am little bit confused and disappointed. In many cases, when I just give the chance to interact, many voices came together and I supposed to ask, please come one by one. But this time I found very limited voice, one or two. I don't know whether all 20s are in board or not. I'm little bit confused. And at the same time, I'm confirmed that everybody is listening me, but they are not participating on the discussion. So let me shouldering the responsibility to exemplify the basic connotation of electronic and digital. See, this is completely different from one to another, and at the same time, there is some corollary, or you can say similarity, commonness of two. But in the academic arena, in most of the cases, in the academic society, even the very senior academic colleagues, they opine this term interchangeably or synonymically, but I don't think that these two are same. It's completely, as I told, different by its shape, by its production, by its birth, or you can say its appearance and other things. What is then? Let me just give the example of digital resources. Yes, by ICTs, of course, binary digit 0 and 1 is the technically readable. Only these two things is readable by the computer technology. So that is issue. But I'm not very fond to clarify the issues on technical aspects. I am just going to clarify these two words like a common person for a layman like that. Digital resources means which have its physical shape in print mode. Let's take me as one respondent already give the example of library. So let me take the example of the library or books. So the books, let me just take direct example, a book Rakta Karabi of Rabindranath Tagore is oldest one, and Tagore is no more. But we wanted to take a copy of first edition of Rakta Karabi to preserve the cultural horizon as publishers, as first print, first edition, like that. So if it is, what we do usually, we are just, the name of the technology is scanning simply. The buzzword is scanning. So scanning the book, then we transform it into the different file, PTF, RTF, and other things. Then finally, we can also convert it into PDF format and then upload it in any software, digital library software, any DOI-based links and other things. So anyone can access that resources from anywhere, any places, of course. In the critical aspects that is called digital rights management or intellectual property rights issues, of course. So by digital resources, as a librarian, as an academician, I wanted to mean which have its physical birth shape or printed shape. Then after certain passage of time, the same has been converted to preserve into digital form called digitization of particular book, and the technique of digitization or digital is commonly known as scanning. So this is the digital. And what is the corollary or similarity of these two? Without using the electronic, or as one respondent said, magnetic issues, electronic technology, the digital resources cannot be accessible or approachable. True. Then what about electronic resources? After 2000 or after 95 onwards, even in India, we found some publication which may not have its printed form. We are producing the book or journal in e-journal, e-book, okay? And in some cases, we are publishing blended mode called printed shape as well as electronic shape. For e-version, you have to go through this URL, and for e-version, you have to go to any library by purchasing the book and other issues. So electronic resources means the resources first or simultaneously birth in invisible, intangible, untouchable in electronic format, which cannot be touchable, only readable, downloadable, then print, then touchable. Physical mode earlier, maybe 100 years or 50 years or 500 years before. And today, to preserve the book, unlike in earlier traditional paper era, tracing, binding, then lamination, paper lamination, that was the technology in the traditional world or physical world. But in the digital world or the electronic world, we are now scan and things saved in the PDF or PTF or PTF, RTF, and there are different other formats. So this is a grammatical understanding that electronic resources, all electronic resources are not the digital resources. And all digital resources may be or may not be the electronic resources. Then the issue of accessibility, maybe on remote location, maybe from remote location, maybe within the institution, that is different issue that we can confine for electronic resources as well as for digital resources. For both resources, approachability, accessibility, we can truncate by applying our technology of remote access or non-remote. But mere on the basis of accessibility, electronic resources and digital resources cannot be distinct. So let me now come in the third called free and open and purchase, subscribe, and paid. So this classification is very easy and quick and simple to conceptualize, to figuring any even school students what are the different sources of information and literature in the current context. And then we have to transform this distinction into our literary classification of source of information for, primary source, secondary source, and tertiary source. Then basic parts of a PhD thesis or doctoral thesis or master dissertation or anything. Basically, there are three core components. One is called preliminary, another one is called appendices, means introductory part or first part, and at the last part called appendices, and in the mid, which is called heart of the thesis, heart of the book, heart of the publication, called body or text. Then this is another slide through which I just like to conceptualize some facets on which particular area it will come under preliminaries, which particular area will come under body of the text, and what are the different facets come under appendices. Then, how to start any, not only research, but also writing and writing, maybe paper writing, article writing, any essay writing, or any book writing, thesis writing. You can go and start. I'm in a different session. Then thinking an idea, we have to start, and it will be ending by disseminate the findings with new piece of information or new or better way of understanding. So from first thinking an idea, and it will be ending with dissemination of some findings which can be stated as new understanding, better understanding, or old concept may have some gap, which will insist next gen scholar to start some other publication, some other new work, some other new research. Now, this research proposal flowchart entails many a times as a librarian, I have to face very childish question from the academics and the students. What do I write in introduction? So by this slide, I wanted to show that if you ask what I am just going to write, why I am going to write, how I am going to write, if these questions becoming in your mind, answer will come under this introductory part. Then what do I do figure in literature review? Literature on particular topic, literature on a method, theoretical approach, theoretical understanding, already published document on the identical area or component, find a hole, that is find out a gap or confusion, then look for debate and try to open the debate and try to construct the question and then try to proceed. Then methodology, how do I proceed? Then we need to pay attention on preparation of research design, research procedure, kind of data, that is type or nature of data, then collection procedures of data or information from the focused area, then selection and access, then human subjects review, then ethical statement, then costs and finding. So all these things will come under the arena of methodology. Then preliminary data. What is preliminary data? Evidence of importance informs methodology. Then preliminary findings, important categories and relationships. Then statement of limitation. What statement of limitation is? Alternatives, weaknesses, and what your research can further do. What your research could do but cannot do due to several reasons. So that is called limitation or scope of the study. Then conclusion, what will come under conclusion, finding and suggestion. What this research work actually contribute to the society or to the work or to the research problem for which society will be immensely benefited for this research work. And then what is the importance of this work? So what, how, and why, if you ask these things, then the answer will be figured in this area. Then what is quantitative research and what is qualitative research? Since the basic idea of my presentation or basic title is of ethical aspects, research and publication. So if we are not understanding nascently, emphatically, and very mentally and heartily what is quantitative research and what is qualitative research, by this slide, I'm just going to show what are the basic differences. Most of the things are same, but only 3-4 areas it's different from one to another. And if you just read the points and ask yourself, then the answer will be the basic distinction of quantitative and qualitative research. To comply with the ethical aspects of the research as a primary responsibility of scholars, as a primary safe practice of the scholars or academicians or contributors, we need to understood flesh and blood what is citing, what is referencing, what is bibliographing, or you can say what is citation, what is reference, what is bibliographies, what is endnote, what is footnote. These 3 or 5 facets. Here also I used to find out that academics are confusing or interchanging these words that these are same. But see and listen. Citation is completely different from reference. Again, reference is completely different from bibliography and citation. Further, bibliography is also different from referencing and citation. Then, the need and the importance and the significance in the publication industry, in the research industry, in the academic industry, these 3 terms has a great value, immense value. And that is why scholars need to understand, conceptualize these 3 things at the very outset. Otherwise, they may commit many wrong things, and for that wrong things, they may suffer throughout their career, and any point of their mid of career, even penalty clause may be imposed, and for which promotion may be debarred, service may be deviated and suspended and rusticated. Many things may happen. So now this is the time to again go back to the respondents. Can anybody tell me what is citation, what is referencing, what is bibliography? Are they same or different? If it is, what is your understanding? Please come up. Anybody?
Sir,
Please.
references are those in journal articles which sources one researchers have consulted for writing that journal. Those are references, and those have particular citations as well. Means the particular line which have taken or particular ideas which have taken. So citing that also escapes from the plagiarism. And in case of bibliography, it is generally found in books where we are not, may or may not take something from a book, but actually when we may read a book, we may inspire from a book, but that doesn't mean that I have taken some line or concept from that book. So that is bibliography. So this is the basic difference between reference and bibliography. Thank you.
Okay. Anything more from anybody else? Don't be hesitant. Please share so that we can construct our understanding in better fashion and manner. It may be incomplete, it may be complete, it may be wrong, it may be right. Don't think that kind of complication. Just try to share your understanding so that we'll build up our understanding in better way and qualitative manner. Anybody? I don't know how much of you are actually listen or not listen or you are participating for participation or joining for joining. I don't know, because no voice just uh, increase my audience, whether I am just reaching you or you are just receiving me or not. Anyway, uh, everything has head and tail side, good and bad side. This is the bad sector of the online mode of presentation and video conferencing learning system. Anyway, see, the citation, reference, and bibliographies are completely different from their purpose, from their objective, and basically these things have been done based on any international citation style or international writing style. And till date, more than 10,000 internationally accepted citation style is available in the global academic arena. More than 10,000, even that is close to 11,000 like that. Out of that, we may have aware about 3-4 style, that is, Chicago style of manual, APA style of manual, MLA style of manual, Harvard style of manual, and some other things. Now, well, what is reference? As respondent submit that simply the reference means and citation means, if you go through this slide, it will be more clearer that citation will be always within the text where we actually paraphrase or quote something from the earlier publication and the source author and the publication of that particular maybe article, maybe journal article, maybe a chapter of a book, maybe book publication, maybe electronic, maybe print book, that will come under this citation pattern, surname of the contributor, and then year of publication will come under citation soon after the text where I have paraphrased or quoted that particular text from that particular article, to have a link that this particular line or this particular para or this particular area I have taken from this particular. Then at the end of the chapter, be it in the thesis, be it in the book, be it in the paper write-up, at the end of the paper or at the end of the particular chapter, we need to enlist the different citations along with their bibliographical details in a list called reference, where we must have give some 4-5 basic information: name of the contributors or contributors, publication year of the journal article or the book chapter or the books or whatever it is, then the source title, book title, journal title, article title, etc. Then the place of publishers, then the year of, then the name of the publishers, and in many cases pagination, that is called page number. So these 4-5 things called as bibliographic information. Let me just say you what is the basic pedagogy of bibliography. Simply, the bibliography is a Latin word. The biblio stands for book in British, and graphy is nothing but list in British. So the Latin bibliography stands in British English as list of books. And as you know, soon after the advent of human civilization, the first print format was book. And that is why, very consciously and very perfectly, our predecessor give this umbrella term book, that is list of books, called bibliography. So at the end of all the chapters, we need to give, that time it was bibliography. And that is why in the current day, in the many standard international publication books, you will get bibliography, means list of websites or list of URLs. And in many cases, very, very, qualitative publishers or publications or nascent authors, they are noting is as list of sources, neither bibliography, nor references called list of sources. So I think citation and reference is now clear to you. Then what is rest? That is called bibliography. And before understanding what is bibliography, we have already understood that the basic pedagogy and philology of the term bibliography is list of books. So let's say my thesis has first or fifth or sixth chapter. Let's say fifth chapter. And every chapter, let's take an arbitrary example that I am having average 20 references. So altogether, I am having 5 into 20 means 100 different sources as bibliography at the end of the chapter. Then when you make an alphabetic arrangement of the list, it may appear that one chapter written by, let's say, let me take the example, Dr. Antara Chakraborty published one paper. Okay. And I am using her paper in my thesis in 3 different chapters of her particular paper. In 3 different chapters means one particular paper I have used in 3 different places. So the paper will come under 3 different references in 3 different chapters. Clear? But when I just ascending order, it will show that Chakraborty Antara and Chakraborty Antara, same thing. So source is same or the literature is same. So I can delete 2 and I can here there leave only 1 and delete the page number, because bibliography means I wanted to give the list of source, list of books, list of items, not the list of pagination. And that is the basic difference in between the reference and bibliography. Reference means where I am paraphrased or quoted some text point to point, and in reference many a times we are compelled to give the pagination to hit, to show, to identify, to locate the direct literature location, to save the time of the future generation of the scholar, and so that my thesis will be much more consulted by the scholars in future. Unlike this bibliography, we may not give the page number. There we are giving the list of sources. So let's say by giving this one example, this 5 into 20, 100 references now coming into 98. So that reference number may be matched with the references. Reference number may be matched with the bibliographies, may not be matched with the bibliographies. Maybe or may not be. But in many cases, it cannot be matched with the reference number. If it is, then it should be denoted as accidental matching. Why? Because you see, as I showed by one example that it will be 98. Then you can ask me one counter question, sir. Then do you think that the number of bibliography will be less than the reference? Yes. My answer will be maybe yes, maybe no, based on the situation. How can it be? Let's take the example of that 98, fine, okay. But as Dr. Chakraborty said, that in addition these 100 different sources, I have also read or consulted some other 10 different sources, which may be a combination of newspaper, journal article, or books. So to me, I'm consciously using the term sources, not book, not the journal, not book chapter, not the maps, not the other things, sources. But that 10 sources, I have not take any paraphrase or I have not copied any text as quotation. But unless until I read or consulted that 10 books, it was not completed in my mind to understood my research problem. So after reading the 10 sources, my mind is now ready to start the write-up. So the 10 sources indirectly help me to start my research work. And that 100 sources compelled me to copy the text for quotation or paraphrasing to write up or to build up my chapter. I think it's now clear. So in this example, what will be the number of bibliography? 100 minus 2, 98, plus 10 means 108. So bibliography will come at the end of all the chapters. Reference will become soon after the end of the chapter itself. Reference will become within the text where just I copied or paraphrased or quoted a particular line or para or sentence or whatever it is. So citation, references, and bibliographies. 2. Safe practice or to avoiding any plagiarism trap. This is the only way to defend yourself. If you do not do this practice, then rest of the country will understood that this is your own creation, and soon after this has been get publication or thesis award, and it will be uploading in South Ganga in Indian IETD in the electronic thesis and discussion database. The rest of the group will think that this is the write-up of Dr. Nimai Saha. And then the people like, as I take the example of Dr. Chakraborty, if she get to know that this is my write-up and Dr. Saha is copied from my write-up and try to impanel this write-up in his own, she submit a complaint. And as far as UGC regulation is concerned, 2018 regulation is concerned, every faculty member, every staff, every scholars may not have any way but to penalized by virtue of UGC regulation as accepted by the different government of higher education, Council of Higher Education, and Central University itself. So be wilder, be aware, and be honored about the ethical aspects, because ethics is a thing which is a basic sense, which if you satisfy, it is ethics. If you are not supposed to satisfy, you may be smart or you may be desperate, I can say that I cannot follow these rules. So my answer will be many theft will theft. But when police will arrest that particular thief or thieves, penalty will be imposed that particular or those team of thieves. So who knows that many thieves are thefting, under whom for a penalty clause will be imposed. So my basic objective of this presentation to make you alert, to run, to handle safe practice, to ensure safe career of you as individual or a member of the institution of institutional career, and also society and nation as a whole. Now another slide of how to understood reference and bibliography differences. Then, do you know how to cite and refer resources from WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram? We are always bothered, concerned about living and non-living resources, which we usually habituated that as I took up these things from the books, I have to cite. But to me, this social network is nowadays the reservoir of academic pieces of information. So don't you think that as I have retrieved this information from any known or unknown Facebook account, I have to give attribution, I have to give acknowledgement, I have to give proper citation. So, as far as printed APA style of manual or any style of manual is concerned, you hardly hard to get to guide these things. But today I am giving you in mid of my presentation one URL called Purdue University. The content is OWL, not the name of any Indian bird, but it is called Online Writing Laboratory. You can also register there as an expert to give input in the academic arena throughout the globe. And you also register yourself as a scholar there, and you can learn many things. And I think this website, this university website, is a research tool to global level scholars, and that is why the first world country is academically tested as first class, first world country. In India, not only financially and societally we are developing country, academically till date we are developing country, because most of our Indian universities, we don't have any online writing laboratory to have a competent or uniform or unique teaching format. So that I will show you. Then let me switch over to publication. How to publish your research or how to publish your article, how to publish your content in a book. So 5 core questions we need to ask, and here we have the URLs also there, and at the bottom I am also giving the mother URL, Taylor and Francis, from Taylor and Francis website. Taylor and Francis is world-class publishers, and in their parent website, if you go, you will get these things. Then if you also choose a journal, how to choose a journal, in which journal I will publish, writing your paper, how to write paper, that is writing of paper guide is also available there, full free. No one will ask you to single penny, and you can also take copy of paste of this guideline and go through the same and ensure your qualitative writer. Then making your submission, how to submit a paper, be it in online mode, be it in through by post or through courier or some other mode. Then navigating the peer review process. Yes, this is very, very important aspects of navigating the peer review process. Most of we are not very clear or not very updated about the peer review process. And there are 5 types of peer review: blind peer review, double peer review, double peer review, simple peer review. What we actually wanted, non-peer review. There are 5 things. So by clicking here, you all are the member of the academic arena. So please, this is my humble request, humble submission. Please go through this URL and read these things, so that the objective of AK Das Gupta Center for organizing these things will be useful and purposive and successful. And at the same time, many of you are service holder of this developing country. And we all are also. I am enjoying salary by this 2 hours of delivering this lecture. And you are also enjoying your salary by attending this workshop. So what will be the output of this poor taxpayer money? We have to have this kind of mindset to value the poor taxpayer money by learning something, by actually taking something at the end of this workshop, to take back to home what we actually take back into home. That is the basic URLs. Please, please, and please, to ensure the proper utilization of the poor taxpayer money, I again request you, please share this URL to your college academics, to your institutional academics, to your fellow friends academics, scholars, and everyone you know, to ensure in one way the qualitative research and to value the poor taxpayer money in this developing country. That is my humble submission. And by considering that time, I am not going to line by line. I can click the URL and go to that, and I can show you how this is opening, and how this is to be read. So I'm confident enough that you will do it. That's why let me allow to pass on. Where to publish? This is another URL where you will get different pockets, mediums, forms of publication, and there are some other the protocol, modus operandi. Particular journal, they have their separate modus operandi how to publish. So to choose a particular journal, to choose a particular platform, you need to pay attention on this area so that you will understood how we have to publish and how indirectly we will comply with the research and publication ethics to ensure safe practice to have safe career. Now, let me switch over the core area of this presentation called ethics in research and publication. See, if there is any participants having philosophy background, I salute your participation, and I am really worried to say something on ethics because I am a person who have no, or you can say illiterate, on branches of knowledge of philosophy and ethics and religion and related aspects. But being a little bit, I cannot terminalize myself as experts, but little bit, I love to live on research methodology field, and I like to read, and I love to learn many things on research methodology, even in this area, in this age. But by nurturing my experience of research and publications field, as I understood, ethics is nothing but to obey some set of rules, and to obey some set of rules, one need to have honest in his or her perception, in his or her mindset, in his or her attitude, and also honest in hard work too. Then this ethic will be automatically satisfied or comply. And my earlier slide, where I am just going to encompass some idea on what actually research I want to mean, RESEARCH. If you see there, research that see the before last character or word or letter, that is C. C means critical observation. We need to have careful reading. Then we need to have consciously copying and paraphrasing to ensure the research aspects, and also to give the proper attribution, as I saw earlier slide, that is called bibliography, reference, citation, and also to a better understanding some other two areas called footnote and endnote. So to satisfy the ethics to reach academic integrity, again, I'm just adding one more terminology called academic integrity. So why we need to ethics? We need to reach academic integrity. So the answer is we have to comply with the ethical aspects of research to reach academic integrity, to reach societal integrity, to reach national integrity, to reach individual integrity, to confer the qualitative integrity, to confirm publication integrity, whatever adjective, ample adjective we can add, we can use. But the basic connotation is that ethics is to reach academic integrity. And to reach this academic integrity, to follow up the ethics, our UGC, University Grant Commission, has enunciated different mandates time to time to ensure the quality right up. So what is academic integrity? Basically, I'm not going to read line by line. As I said, I'm not very fascinated to read the slide by language, by sentence, by word to word, but I have no option but to utter the 5 core component of academic integrity family: honesty, trust, fairness, respect, and responsibility, called HTFRR. HTFRR. Honesty, trust, fairness, respect, and responsibility. Every word has its connotation, and I am sure that have you have your better understanding or minimum understanding, or to the extent possible understanding by its meaning and its pedagogy, that what actually honesty is, what is trust, what is fairness, what is respect, and what is responsibility. Then coming back to the basic conception of the academic integrity. Having academic integrity means that others can trust you. You see, take the example of any particular college. There might have, or any institute, I mean institute or university too, or any institution. If there is 100 employees, 1, 3, 4, 5, or 6, or 10 employees get some additional respect from the rest of the colleagues, from the student society, from the scholar society, from the society as a whole. Why this is? Simply because they have their academic integrity or their behavioral integrity, and they have bigger trust, so that society will keep faith on them, respect on them. And second, because it provides value to your degree or award. Yes, it will automatically impose the very term called personality. The very term called personality, because society will honor, society will value your behavior, your deliberation, your approach based on your degree, based on your award. And that is why you have to have academic integrity. Thirdly, because it can offer you peace of mind, knowing that you believe in doing the right thing. Forget about what society can give me or cannot give me, what other people can annotate me or not annotate me. But one thing I can annotate me by perception of my own, that I have peace of my mind, knowing that I'm doing the right thing. I am not doing the bad thing, or I'm not in improper track or bad track or derailed like that. Finally, can reduce a lot of unnecessary stress. That the person who have integrity, they have less stress, or they have free from any unnecessary stress. That is why we need to have academic integrity. We need to have ethical personality. We need to maintain research and publication ethics in our day-to-day life. Then, in the second phase of the academic integrity, or in the second volume, we can figure the word called ethics. And there are 5 principles for research ethics based on 5 core components of academic integrity, called: discuss intellectual property frankly, be conscious of multiple rules, follow informed consent rules, respect confidentiality and privacy, tap into ethical resources. So these are the 5 basic principles of research ethics. Then the research ethics family have this kind of 16 different connotation, buzzword, facets, component to satisfy the research word. I am not reading all the 16 words. It's very, very self-explanatory, that right from integrity to non-maleficence. So all these words: respect, rules, regulations, justice, dignity, confidentiality, competency, moral principles, ethical practices, values, privacy, then honesty, beneficence, autonomy, non-maleficence. All the 16 words you need to nurture like a child, like a toy, so that your academic output will be honest, and it will be free from any ambiguity. And this is the ethical dimension of scientific research. Procedural ethics, extrinsic ethics, intrinsic ethics. These three ethics, like a Venn diagram, I'm just represent over here, that have some commonness, and from one ethics, there is no distinction or there is no separation of another ethics. So these three ethics may have interrelationship with the other, and we need to understood what is these things. So how to maintain research ethics and avoid scientific misconduct. So before conduct of research, we need to satisfy these 4 points. During conduct of research, we need to satisfy these 5 points. And after research, we need to have these 4 points. So 4, 4, 8, 10, 5, 13 points. You can say 13 agenda we need to maintain as research ethics to avoid any scientific misconduct. Then research misconduct, or FP, called fabrication, falsification, and plagiarism. How can we avoid this falsification, fabrication, and plagiarism? This can be given with the another picture. Then, bodies to safeguard on scientific integrity in the scientific field, or it is the scientific industry. There are different accredited bodies like GSP, RSH, Ethics Commission of the Faculties, and Animal Welfare. They have their own commission, or you can say committee, or you can say approved bodies who will offer you the safeguard so that you can never be attacked by any mischiefs by derailing the ethical aspects of research and publication. So one ethical committee to handle all ethical application, advantage, disadvantage. Subject-specific ethical committees have some advantage, have some disadvantage. One ethical committee for all institutions within a country have some advantage and disadvantage. So this matrix also give you some impetus, give you some input to live in the future academic world, to be very safe, to be very peace fashion and lovely manner, I can say. So ethical tenet, informed concept, and scientific integrity. By ethical tenet as autonomy, how informed consent you will achieve, and then scientific integrity, how one will be able to maintain. So autonomy, beneficence, non-beneficence, and then justice. So this is another table. Then publication ethics checklist. Before submission of thesis or leaving of your paper to any editorial board or any publishers for publication, you need to have ask yourself these 6-7 questions and try to find out the answers. So this is actually not of my own creation. This is available from this URL. You can click and go through and consult the literary discourse of this particular picture. Then fundamental shifts in research, ethics, and peer review in the era of COVID-19 pandemic. You see, COVID-19, as you know, the nature is the best teacher. So during the pandemic days, we have learned a lot about the fundamental research methodology. Okay, about the fundamentals of research methodology. So these are the 8 different components through which we have reached the power of sustained, the way of sustainability in the academic arena by submission online thesis, by submission online publication, as I said earlier, to ensure my academic mileage in a particular given period of time. This is another peer review process. What is the peer review process? This diagram is self-explanatory. What is the peer review process for your understanding? Then this is another the pictorial presentation of peer review process or journal article accepting process. Then UGC mandate. UGC, as I told, that July 31st, 2018, published its Gazette of India notification, the plagiarism rules and policy. University Grants Commission, promotion of academic integrity and prevention of plagiarism in higher education institution, 23rd of July 2018. This was the UGC committee meeting resolution date. Then the Gazette notification was done in the 31st of July on the same year. Then this is another December 2019. This notification is called RPE, Research and Publication Ethics, also published by UGC. Then this is self-plagiarism policy or self-plagiarism, also a very great sin in academic publication. So this has also been declared by the UGC in due course. Then UGC CARE, called Consortium for Academic and Research Ethics of UGC, they have published their academic list of journals which is approved by this CARE committee. Okay. Then what is plagiarism? I don't want to leave or read these things. So let me leave these things. You will read it. What is actually plagiarism is. Then by the notification of Government of India, the plagiarism means faculty means, staff means, researcher means, everything. Here you see staff means regular, temporary, contractual, outsource, ad hoc, everyone. So no one can claim that this clause cannot be applied or imposed before me, as I am not the permanent staff of the college. I'm not the permanent staff of the institution or government. So that cannot be. Even if you are part-time, sacked, or whatever it is, you should be treated as a staff, and this legality will be imposed. This is the copy. 13 slides are there. You may download, or if you require, you may contact with me through my mail. I shall send you this PDF file of 16 pages, out of which 7.5 pages is in English and rest 8.5 pages is in Hindi. So that 7 pages only, it will take 10 to 15 minutes to read and to abide for your next course of academic journey. See, the similarity checks for exclusion, and in this juncture, let me say one line of saying that that the exclusion from plagiarism is all quoted work reproduced with all necessary permission and or attribution, all references, bibliography, table of content, preface and acknowledgement, means preliminaries and other issues, and all generic terms, laws, standard symbols and standard equation, understanding, etc. So this is free from plagiarism. And mind it, that machine and any software cannot check the amount of plagiarism. Any software like Turnitin, Authenticate, Urkund, and many other open access softwares too, they only give us the similarity, amount of similarity, or you can say similarity index. So after getting the similarity index, it's the duty of intellectual human or the guide or the scholar or the subject expert to judge or identify whether these are actual plagiarism or not. So the amount of similarity cannot be same as plagiarism. Then the plagiarism has 4 different levels as given by the UGC. Then based on the 4 different level, UGC has given different punishment clause, and also UGC has asked to constitute in the year 2018 to constitute the DAIP, Departmental Academic Integrity Panel. Every college, every institute, every university need to constitute this panel, and also IAIP, called Institutional Academic Integrity Panel, to consider these things and to ensure the colleagues of academics or the scholars of the academics to be very safe practice, to ensure the safe career and the image of the institution too. The penalty clause. Now this is the for online help. This is the URL of aulpurdue.edu. As I said in earlier slide, if you click over here, it will bring you in the Purdue website, and there you will get how to get the English writer background help, English grammar writing help, English or subject specific writing help, how to avoid plagiarism, how to write technical writing on a particular subject. There are many guides available over here. And this is the home page of the Purdue online laboratory. And once you click in the left panel, you will get all these things. Then issues of plagiarism. Plagiarism, softwares are available in online and in offline mode. Offline means I wanted to mean paying mode. One is free and open access, and another one is red color is paid software. So as Government of India given us Urkund, right now it is Turnitin, original supported by Turnitin. So by this Turnitin, we can check the every thesis to judge the amount of similarity before to submit the thesis. Then how to check a particular paper on the original or Urkund or any software? Here, as we are using UGC approved software, given software called original, let me show with the screenshot how to check this paper by by using this online demonstration. This is the Google homepage, as you know. If you type their original login, it will give you this URL. Then there you will get log into original. You have to click over here. Then soon after clicking there, it will ask you username and password. Your university coordinator or college coordinator will open the account, and you will just like mail ID password, you will give in here the ID and then password. You will be allowed to open the inbox. Soon after opening the inbox, your opening inbox will be free from any content, because this is the first time. As this is my account, I have checked many things, so that is why it is showing something. Then you have to create the orange color button in the left top corner. Then upload the file. Then upload files over here. Then after clicking over here, it will ask you to choose the file from your pen drive or hard drive or desktop or any other mode, so any other format. So then you have to choose the particular file. Then it will ask you to give the analysis address. You are not supposed to collect or mind your analysis address every now and then. If you click in that drop down menu, it will show your drop down menu. It will show the analysis address, and you have to make it available. And then subject economics, education, chemistry, philosophy, whatever it is, you can put up here. Message you can leave blank, or you can type something. Then upload a file. Then after uploading, soon after uploading, you will get a report through your mail, or you can come again in the original inbox. Then you will find this kind of message. And in the percentage of similarity, you see consciously machine has given here similarity, not the plagiarism. So if you now wanted to see what is the amount of percentage of similarity and from where this has common get by the machine, then if you click this 19%, it will give you this right panel, and here open report, how much word, how the name of the document number and other things. Then you click over here, it will give you this page, findings, sources, enter document. And if you click here in the down arrow key, it will allow you to download the report. Then let's say, as it is 90% similarity, and let's say the guide and scholars or the contributors thought that this may not be considered as plagiarism. Means I wanted to uncheck the percentage, I wanted to diminish or decrease the amount of percentage of similarity by uncheck the commonness. Like here, if you click in the sources, it will show 12.89 from these particular things. So after going through it, you found that this is not the actual plagiarism. So if you click in the down arrow key, it will give you this page, that down arrow key give you this area. Then it means this yellow arrow means the paper has been arrested and it has been included in the analysis report. So if I click here, it will be unticked. If I click here, it will be unticked, and the percentage of similarity will be goes down from 19 to it may become 12,000 or 9,000, like that. Then you click the down arrow key menu to download the report. It will give you this page, which page you need to append along with your thesis hard copy as well as thesis soft copy, and soon after the page of your declaration, or you can say self-declaration page, it should be appended. Now, this is the Urkund handbook guide. Urkund FAQ is also there. And those who are the scholars from Vishwabharati, or if anybody from Vishwabharati plagiarism policy is annexed at the university website. This is the URL. If you click here, it will be bring to you in the nascent position. In conclusion, see, actually, to my understanding, research and publication industry or society is basically a combination of questioning family. So it has no conclusion, because in a particular research or in a particular thesis or in a particular write-up, you can have conclusion, but within the conclusion, you can have 2-3 lines, which also entails that this conclusion insists another scholar to open up another paper, to open up another thesis, to write it up, so that it's a chain process. So to my understanding, no research, no academic works must have final conclusion. Rather, it will be a conclusion of temporary or an issue based or a problem based or of that particular thesis, because every research or publication industry recycled on who, what, how, where, why, and when. So ultimately, the research process is centralized within the several questions, like as I said. And before leaving the to you all, let me conclude or wrap up my presentation or wrap up my submission by saying that the society is open, knowledge is open, library is open, resource is open, institution is also open. But the problem is that we are playing game in the open society with having closed mindset, narrow mindset, confined mindset. That's the basic problem of this society, and that is why our attitude is not proper enlightening or not able to focus with the society to the expected level. And last but not least, being a fan of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, let me end with a great quotation given by the Dr. Abdul Kalam sir. You cannot change your future, because if you think that after listening this presentation or attending this workshop, we will change our future from day after tomorrow, that cannot be. That cannot be. And that cannot be. Why? Simply because you cannot change your future, but you can change your habits. And surely your habits will change your future. So you see how great this sentence is. You cannot change your future, but you can change your habits. And surely your habits will change your future. So now 5 to 6 minutes, I may allow you to interact with me, or you can share your experience, your opinion, your questions or feedback, or also you are requested to give your feedback in the chat box, how you found or how you bore on my presentation, or whether it is useful or it is less useful, so that before inviting me or before calling me, our Ekadasgupta Center will decide whether this fellow will be invited or not, because I think everyone has a time value. So you have to take care, value on your time, and I too. So I am very open to take any kind of negative remarks as well as positive remarks, whatever you think, because I'm not expecting every time good and very positive adjectives after winding up or wrapping up of any presentation. If you have any problem or any gap of understanding, or you can say confrontation or difference of opinion, I am agree to share with you. Even if it is not possible by this floor, you can call me at any point of time. For the interest of the academic journey, I am ready to open end, because I am living in the open access society. That is why my mindset, my attitude is very, very accessible to all, open access to all. Thank you very much. Now, board is over to participants for asking or interacting. Thank you very much.